Thank you for listening to Men Talk Ubuntu podcast and being a valued member of our community. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube, Instagram, and other social media now for access to our latest updates. DM us and let us know what your mental health is on a scale of 1 to 5. Thank you.
Are we seeing more people like that coming forward, more of these working professionals as well?
Definitely.
Who may not have had an appreciation for psychotherapy or any similar roles?
Definitely, especially in the higher roles, managerial roles. You definitely have a lot of those type of people coming in, primarily with anxiety, with high anxiety levels, and definitely during COVID, we found that has, well, since COVID, we're finding that more, higher level people are coming out, feeling anxious. Because what happens is that a lot of people went into COVID fine, stayed at home, and now they come out, anxiety level is on a 10. So yeah, we do have a lot more of those
call them high flyers,
high profile people coming in and seeking help, and even regarding to therapists, a lot of people might not think like, oh, therapists are, they like, their life is clear. No, not really. Usually that's why one of the reasons why you have as therapists, we have clinical supervisors, right? So they basically go to them in case they're like difficult cases, in case there's burnout, in case we have our own things happening. Therapists have therapists, basically. If that makes sense. You actually have psychologists who are trained to give therapy to therapists. That's actually a thing. So yeah, definitely, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's levels to this, huh?
Yeah, so, there's levels.
Never take financial advice from someone who doesn't have a financial advisor or money manager or who has a poor bank balance. And I guess the lesson is, don't take mental health advice from someone who doesn't use what they're selling.
Yeah, exactly, right. And definitely, and sometimes some of the techniques that we teach clients, we practice on ourselves. Definitely. For example, some deep breathing techniques, I'll probably practice on myself first, and definitely, for example, there's one that I like to share, especially with individuals who having sleep issues. Definitely relaxing before going to bed, or whilst laying down in bed, just relaxing. Because a lot of times we don't realize how tense we are just laying down in bed. But then when you focus on that moment, like, just relaxing your muscles and laying down, then you realize, like, wait, I've actually been tense this entire time. And then I would start to say, even start to take a deep breath and just start to breathe slowly and just relax all your muscles. Just relax. Find a comfortable spot in your bed. Find the coldest part, because you all know that cold part always feels the nicest, right? So find a nice cold spot. Get comfortable and just relax, and just start to breathe. And as you start to breathe and relax, just try to focus on your mind. The brain is a muscle, right? And you want your brain to relax, right? So all those thoughts are just running, right? Just focus on trying to relax. Just focus on relaxing, and then tell your brain, just relax. Just relax. As you continue to relax, maybe like 3-4 hours later, you wake up in the middle of the night and you'd be like, what just happened? Right? Right?
Like, right. Someone knocked me out.
Yeah, right. So definitely, yeah. Or Ray's on mute again.
I just never learn, do I? As you were going through those steps, those words of shutting yourself down before you go to bed to get into that relaxation, it's taken me to different milestones we've had even within Men Talk, and it reminds me of, because what we actually do, essentially, we actually have events where we invite men to go out into the outdoors and unplug from the day-to-day hustle and bustle. Now, there's also a particular segment which I absolutely love, which is just like what you said, where you're lying down, you're closing your eyes and you're listening. So for instance, the last event we had, we actually went caving. Now you can imagine in a cave, we're in this cave, head torches on all around, you know, I looked the part, I had the overalls, you know, the helmet, so on and so forth. And it was pitch dark. And just taking everyone through those steps of knowing how to shut down, to be like a control generator, to let go of your feet, let go of your muscles, let go of the tension in your shoulders, your mind, just let go of everything. And bear in mind, we was in pitch black darkness. We couldn't see anything. I think most probably about 60 seconds in, everyone shut down, completely shut down. Even the actual lead person who was taking us through the caves, they actually shut down. And it actually showed how powerful just doing that is, and how it's important to let your mind disconnect, because essentially, you know, just there's a saying that says, a man who's too busy to take care of himself or his health or his mental state is like the mechanic who's too busy to take care of his tools. And if you can't take care of your tools, which is the biggest thing, your mind, everything else is, you know, it's gonna shut down. You're gonna crash. You're gonna burn and overload. And then what happens then? You know, you're much deeper than where you actually started, essentially. So I definitely agree with what you basically said in that regards. So
Brilliant. Just brilliant, honestly. They do say the mind is an excellent servant, but a terrible master. And I think that's definitely true. And I love the idea of even using your cave example now, Ray, as an analogy of when we are hit with these emotions for the first time, or these feelings or thoughts, and we're not quite sure how to navigate our way out of the cave. It's a scary place, and we want someone to get us out there ASAP. And often sitting down and just stopping is the last thing we want to do. Just like Cottrell was hinting at, when people were stuck with me, myself, and I for a year or a year and a half during COVID, anxiety and stress is at a 10. But if we have support networks and we have professionals and people who know how to give us some of the information we need to make our way out, it's not so bad. And then when we do stop, even if we're in the cave, all that happens is we're able to fall asleep, because maybe we're actually tired and we've knackered ourselves out with all that thinking, and the body will now go, yeah, time to rest up for a little bit. And the body scan is a fantastic way to just become aware of what's going on with you, and perhaps even see if maybe there's something going on that you need to address because you're not able to actually unwind and get some peaceful rest. And there's nothing wrong with that. Work hard, and there's a healthy way to do that and be able to hustle and power through. If you're working 100-hour weeks, I'm not saying stop, but if it's, you know, if it's killing you, stop for a minute and figure out what's going on, what's really driving me here. And I mean, we can talk all day, But I also know that we don't have Cottrell all day, and this man has the seaside to get to.
Well, look like that might have to change because it's raining. So
yes, there is justice in the world.
I keep looking back as like barnacles. It's raining.
Rain, that's picnic weather. I see sunshine, there's rain.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is transition to some of the final questions that we have. And then if we've got a little bit more time or the rain carries on, we might carry on the conversation. But at the very least, we want to make sure that we get these final questions through to you. Because I did have one surprise question. So I'll see if we've got time, we'll get into that. Because I would have loved a little comparison. We're on an island, you're on an island. Let's have a bit of that. But for our surprise questions, Cottrell, the first one that I would love to ask you is, well, just like looking at you, I can see some fantastic sights. I'm sure anyone who's watching on YouTube is enjoying the view. What's the best thing about being Black?
What's the best? You know, I was actually having this discussion with my colleague, I think it was yesterday. And I was saying one of the best things about being Black is that we can dress. You know, we definitely got swagger to us that, you know, that I just feel is unmatched. I mean, I feel like for Black people, we don't have to put in too much effort to look fresh. And I feel like even if we put in too much effort, we like just always clean. But that's definitely one thing. I feel like even probably, for example, for me, I like to wear, it doesn't look like it, but I like to wear bow tie and suspenders, probably little loafers, you know. You know, I like to, you know, just
tell me you tie the bow tie. Tell me it's not a clip-on. Tell me you tie the bow tie.
I might have to disappoint you.
Oh man.
Nowadays, sometimes you just don't have the time to so I just have to clip and just run out.
These young bucks. Gotta take your time, man. I get you. I'm not disappointed. I'm still impressed. Keep going.
Yeah. So what about you guys? What about you? Same question to you.
Wow, I don't think that's been asked back.
No, definitely.
All right, cool. I like it. For me, it is a sense of community or family. A sense of family that you can truly be accepted and embraced in that way. Like when we say, this is my brother, even though we might not be biologically brothers, there's a sincere, meaning behind that. There is not a falsity or it's just a nicety or an expression. And when we say, welcome, come into my home, you're welcome, this is your home as well now, it is meant, and you can turn up and vice versa. I really love that element. And I think it might not be unique to us, but it is definitely something that seems to come almost with every package, if you will. Everyone seems to innately have that, and that ability to take people on. And I guess that view of we're one human family really, really is genuinely expressed. So I believe.
Nice.
Ray, Tony, what are your?
I just like the fact that we're unique. We're just I feel like we're a chosen people, and I think because we are, that's why we're persecuted so much. But I just feel that we're just I like the color of our skin. I just like our strength. There's just so many different aspects of being Black. So yeah, but in a nutshell, yeah, I just like our uniqueness. Yeah, right.
Yeah, thanks. No, I second everything everyone said in terms of you know, what I love. I think for me, it's really, and I've mentioned it on previous podcasts, it's really being on a learning curve of what it means to be Black, how powerful we are, and how powerful we don't know, or how powerful we are, or we're still yet to learn how powerful we are. Because as much as history tells us, you know, we've gone through all sorts of, you know, segregation, separation, things like that, we're still coming out and still fighting to come out on top and be more than who we are, what we was, and much more than that. The color of our skin, the culture, the music, the vibrant colors we have, everything, the music, you know, how we laugh together. Because I think someone actually mentioned it, and they were like, oh, how come every time you see a Black person, even if you don't know them, you're nodding their head like it's like our tribal sign, you know, no matter where you are in the world, like kind of how are you? And it really does captivate. It really does captivate other, you know, cultures, other people, and just seeing that connection. It's much more than, oh, you're right, mate. You know, you're having a good day. It's much more than that. It's the unsaid physical language that we all have embedded in all of us. That's what I love.
Look at that, the potential, the pride, the panache in our dress. Love it. All right, let's hit the next question. Take it away, Ray.
Yeah, thank you. So the question I have for you, as much as you love dressing and things like that, we need to know, who taught you how to shave?
Who taught me how to shave?
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I've never really been like a hairy person like that. So I usually just go to the barber and they just line me up. You know, they just I just tell them what I want and they just know what to do. Basically, basically nobody really taught me how to shave like that. I never really been, you know, a bearded person. So, and I think I like that.
Easy life. Give the responsibility to the barber.
Exactly. Right. Yes, exactly that. Yes.
And you strike me as a man who's engaged with quite a few resources in your journey, a few books, a few talks, all manner of things. So I'm curious to find out what book or resource that you've come across so far do you hope that people would still use 100 years from now because it's that good or that valuable?
To be honest, I don't really read books like that. To be honest, I read it primarily articles, and it would be like more like research articles to more keep up what's happening in the, you know, the psychological world. But in terms of, you know, like talking, like TED Talks, definitely. I would definitely listen to a few TED Talks every now and then. But outside of that, I primarily just do a lot of, you know, research, read a lot of research articles, and in terms of, you know, the impact of certain things on the mind, or, you know, psychology, or, you know, certain things.
I'm gonna push you.
All right.
If you had one, if I said to you, what's something that's really helped you turn something around that you were working towards? I don't know what it was. It might be the confidence thing. It might be a communication thing, but there must be something that really resonated and made sense for you. There's usually one that you wouldn't hesitate to direct someone towards it. Even if it's a TED Talk, a particular TED Talk.
A particular.
There's got to be some. I'm sure there's something. Thank you for listening to Men Talk Ubuntu podcast and being a valued member of our community. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube, Instagram, and other social media now for access to our latest updates. DM us and let us know what your mental health is on a scale of 1 to 5. Take care.
I think it was definitely this article that that we had a bunch of articles to choose in university, right? In this, I think the class was motivation and emotions, or something like that. And one of the one of the articles was like the misconception of it was like the misconception of, I don't know, like men and women. So basically how men tend to misinterpret, women's nonverbal cues and verbal cues as sexual advances, and they did a research on that. Right? So then so then my thing was I had to present that before the class and do a research paper on it as well, and do further research on it. And I think I stumbled upon an article which spoke about confidence and how, the psychology of confidence and how internalizing and just how a lot of times the perception of others, impact us, right? Instead of allowing our internalization of ourselves impact who we are and what we do and how we look. So I read that and I was like, okay, this is different, and that allowed me to reflect, and then, just honestly, just conversations with friends over time help to, to gather that and build that. So that combined with that fused, and then, and I be honest, I think it was just about, I think I graduated in university maybe 2018, so around 2019, and I started my master's in 2018. So I mean, in 2019, that's when I started to actually, quite recently, start to settle in even more into my confident self because of that. Yeah.
Very confident man. Very confident.
Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And it's really good to hear how such resources have helped you in terms of helping men to start talking, which leads to the next question, because we can see and hear how you're changing the whole narrative of the masculinity and them being open. What do you wish more men spoke about?
What do I wish more men spoke about?
That's a heavy question. Heavy.
Because it's a lot, man. I wish more men spoke about, the trauma that they went through growing up. Because that, I mean, I know that's a heavy one, but I really do. A lot of men don't talk about the trauma that they went through. I feel like a lot of men, as we say, suppress that. They don't talk about it. Or even if you do start to talk about it, they segue into something else real quick. And a lot of times you can detect that it happens, just like that, where they just switch conversation because they're not really into communicating that that part that they push back and suppress for so long. So I definitely really, wish that more men could just come out and speak about, I went through this when I was growing up. If they did, the trauma that they went through. I feel like once that starts to happen more, then more men will get the confidence and start to discuss, what they went through as well. Well, what about you guys? I want to hear some from your end. What do you think you would like to hear more from men?
I mean, I was I was so not taken aback, but I was really soaking up your answer there, and it made me think back to 2015. There was something happening with me, and someone used the term trauma, and I rejected it. Like, nah, like, it doesn't compute for me at the time, because
Yeah.
I was like, nah, trauma
Mm-hmm.
sounds very negative when you really think about it, and
Mm-hmm.
well, something's traumatic, all this stuff. It's
Yeah.
like you don't want to think of something being traumatic because sometimes it feels like it gives it so much power.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like the fact that that's the term and the phrase that you actually used.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back to this point of you name or label something as that,
Mm-hmm.
just to enable you to then realize what you need to overcome it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's beautifully put. For myself, what would I like more men to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
It is a tricky one, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm now pulling from recent conversations that I've been having, and I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to just give a shall we say a generic answer. So what I will say is I would like more men, for me,
Mm-hmm.
to actually just talk more about, let's call it, what comes next, more about the ideas they have and the hope they have for the future. Because I think often we can get caught up in talking about sometimes the hardships and struggle that we're going through, sometimes, just shooting the breeze, as it were, not really talking about much. And the core of, I think, maintaining a very good place in your mental health is having things to look forward to and working towards them, and not just talking about them, but encouraging each other to achieve them. And because it takes a while to get to wherever we want to
Mm-hmm.
go. Just
Right.
like I'm really looking forward to seeing your journey unfold and you achieve, I'm sure, the great things that you're going to achieve and have such a great impact on your community, your island, and who knows, the world. I think that's very possible. And I think to speak to each other about that and to encourage each other about what we can achieve, and to strive towards greatness, shall we say, together,
Mm-hmm.
then I think we're truly onto something. Then we're really galvanizing people to want to address whatever's holding them back or acting as an anchor, stopping them sailing forward. And when all of us are going, then we're unstoppable, really.
Right.
And when we're not afraid to talk about some of the traumas or some of the issues we're experiencing,
Mm-hmm.
then life is good, right?
Yeah.
There's no secrets, there's no weaknesses, as it were. There's
Yeah.
nothing that can cause us to stumble. Oh, there's a great saying. What's the saying? It's something like, the difference between a stumbling block and a stepping stone is how high you raise your foot. I'll
Mm.
let that marinate for some people.
Yeah.
It's something like that. I hope I've said the quote
Yeah.
correctly,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
so it just
Mm-hmm.
lift a little higher next time. Just keep
Mm-hmm.
going. I don't know,
Yeah.
Tony and Ray, what do you wish more men talked about today?
I just would like men. I think Cottrell. I think all of you have hit the nail on the head in terms of just we just need to be really real with each other and say how we
Mm-hmm.
really feel deep down, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and even physically. And particularly emotionally, because I think sometimes we put on this act and this bravado, and we don't really. I think we're afraid to be vulnerable with each other, and because we we don't want to be seen as weak, but it's yeah. I just would like us to be more real with each other and just say what we feel deep down inside.
I definitely concur with what everyone said. One thing or a lot of things I would say is, or I've come to realize, everyone's preferred communication is very different. So whoever's listening, if your preferred communication is to express yourself through writing or messaging, I challenge all of you to encourage everyone around you. So if it's a woman, listen to this and you know a man or you're with a man, I encourage you to empower him and say the I feel statement so you can understand how he feels, whether it's a friend or a partner. The same goes with man to man. I challenge all of you to just communicate and just say, I feel the I feel statement, because I think that is so powerful. Because normally when we speak to each other or greet each other, you're like, oh, how are you? Yeah, I'm okay. End of. Rather than that, just not even how do you feel? Put it on them and say, you need to use the I feel statement. I feel this. And that opens up all sorts of doors for empathy, for support, leaning, guiding, and also just much more fruitful relationships for a better future, because there's nothing worse than going under a rock or in a cave and being so dark and there's no way out because you've not said or you've not known how to express yourself and say, I feel. So whoever's listened to this, even start with yourself with the I feel challenge. Let us know, share it with us. If you want a message, if you want to send us a voice note, I feel. That's my 2 pence.
Well, well, well. Hasn't that been delightful? Like, wow. We've been everywhere today. We've had a laugh. We've had the deep insights. And thank you once again for coming through, Cottrell. I am just so grateful that you, like so many of our guests, have this huge giving heart where from the beginning, everything, as soon as you started to talk about what put you on the path to work in the field of mental health and helping other people, that's it, helping other people. That seems to be a huge driving goal for you, and one of the main areas in your own life that you're driving towards, which is great. Cut that out. Anyone not watching on YouTube, someone just walked in behind me. And I want to wish you continued strength and continued enthusiasm, especially as you, like you say, since April, you're coming into this transition in your own life and you're trying to figure out what comes next. And I've been there. I know what 30 usually looks like. I'm sure you have your goals and dreams for what you want to do by 30. And honestly, I really, really wish you the world, man. I like I say, strength to carry on the good fight and the enthusiasm that you seem to display for your profession and for helping other people. And to be honest, the zeal for life that you have, it is so energizing to speak with you and, you know, just have a laugh and hear about what you want to do. And the fact that you've broken down so many practical tips. Have time for yourself. Go outside and enjoy a little walk. Enjoy the little things, you know, all these little things. So I want to thank you, and I just want to encourage you for those things and just commend you for being a great example of a Black man doing great things. You know, you're helping us promote positive perceptions, and by your youth, you've shown us that we can connect all the generations together today as well, which is one of our goals. So no, I really appreciate you, man. Really do.
I thank you guys for having me on. It was man, I didn't know what to expect, even though, you know, I asked Tony and, you know, and all that, you know, what to talk about, but I just love the free discussion, you know. I loved it a lot. And I mean, hopefully I could get you guys onto a live, you know, at some point. I'll probably stay up like extra late just so I can have you guys on during the day. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Just so we can do that. But I really appreciate you guys, and I really love what you guys are doing over in the UK over there, and reaching out to others. And it's really, I feel good seeing other Black brothers doing the same thing that I am trying to promote as well. So I'm glad that we can communicate and work together, and definitely, I mean, beach look like it's not really gonna happen today, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. The weather just seems a bit, yeah.
Well, while the weather's there and we've got it for a little bit longer,
yeah.
Do you want to remind our listeners how best for them to connect with you, keep up with what you're doing, and get some of your resources?
Yes, for sure. So you can definitely reach me at Psyche or psych_key. So that's PSYCH_key, KEY. And follow us on Instagram. They could definitely reach me on that. Just so that I don't manage the account. My other two partners, they manage the account. So, but what usually happens when they get any messages or anything, they contact me and let me know. You can always, even if it's to reach out to these guys and let them know, get in contact with me. Tony has my number. You guys have my number, so you can always even hit me up. You guys might message me at a time where the time difference is very different, but when I wake up, I'll see the message for sure. And I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you guys so much for inviting me on here, and shout out to Tony for actually getting in contact with me. I really appreciate it, and I really like what you guys are doing. 100%. 100%.
We love what you're doing as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
I also want to take this opportunity to extend my thank you from the guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really amazing to see, someone who is much younger than all of us, doing so much and being an advocate for change for men. I commend you. I thank you. If I had virtual flowers, I would send them, as a matter of fact. Let's have a look. I don't know if you can see that. Wow. There's my flower to you.
I love the sunflower. I love it.
There you go.
I love it. Appreciate it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
You've really, personally, you've given a lot of, captivating gems in this conversation. Everything from speaking about your experience, how you help and support people, the continuous journeys that you are going on and helping and supporting everybody, taking on people's weight, because what you do is not an easy job. It's not an easy job. So if I had a hat, I'd also take that off to you right now. We'll go for a salute for now. But yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Oh yeah, and the powerful I feel statement is something that's going to stick with me. And to our listeners, again, I challenge you. I feel.
All right, Cottrell, let's get something in the diary. Hit us up. If you've been listening to the end, absolute gratitude to you. And please do check out any of our other episodes or content. Keep taking care of yourself. It is good and important that you are here. And until next time, bye-bye.
Thanks very much.
Hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed creating.
Don't forget to follow, like, share, and connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Subscribe to our latest episode and listen to any you missed. And tune in next episode.
Take care.